Assalamu alaikum. Barcelona 3, Levante nil, and now Barcelona is back at number 1 in the La Liga table. And I'd be lying to myself if I said I was not expecting this. I'd be lying to myself if I said we were going to maintain that number 1 lead. If you guys saw the exact clip, whoever is watching my clips, if you guys saw the exact video, I literally said we can't be confident to hold that number 1 spot. I said against racing, against the title, racing for the title against Barcelona, I can't even speak, is not something that you look forward to. And obviously I'm not talking about in history, but I'm talking about as of recently. Last year and this season, last season, right? Where last season I remember being 10 points clear of Barcelona. This season we were a couple points clear at some point, and then, just recently we were 2 points clear of Barcelona. And now they just got the lead back by 1 point. Now, it's not the worst, right? I'm not saying that we're completely out of the title, but it's going to be hard to regain that number 1 spot compared to Barcelona regaining it from us. And the reason why I'm saying it's hard is not because I'm saying that Barcelona is clearly way better than us. Well, they're more consistent than us. That's the answer. But also, for Real Madrid, we've been losing against teams that are where we're supposed to win. For example, just recently against Osasuna, we were supposed to win that game and we didn't. We did horribly. We have strikers, right? We have our forwards who don't know their positions in the team. And for the most part, I do want to blame Arbeloa for it, but at the same time, Perez definitely has some say in this. He definitely has told Arbeloa to not control Vinicius, Mbappe, Bellingham, like those players who got names to themselves. I'm not a fan of it, and I've never been a fan of it and will never be a fan of it, because if the manager wants to do something for the team, the manager knows what to do for the team. All right. Now, I could sit here and give like a part 2 of yesterday's video, but I'm not going to do that. I want to focus completely on this game with Barcelona. So, obviously, the first goal came very early, and that was from Bernal in the 4th minute. And something that I do want to highlight in this match, if I had to focus on one thing, I would focus on the crossing and the way Barcelona players are there compared to us last game, right? Where we have our strikers who are not naturally strikers, right? Mbappe. And when we have a low cross going into the box, a cross, right? We don't see Mbappe there. And it's not like I'm blaming him for not being there, because that's not his style. All right. But the thing is that it's up to the manager then to play Gonzalo Garcia, right? It's up to Arbeloa to put Mbappe either left wing, right wing, whatever he wants to play at, and putting Gonzalo Garcia as a striker, because Gonzalo Garcia, looking back even the Club World Cup, he knows how to catch those headers. He knows where his position is. He knows how to lure, right, or lure, right, the center backs. And it's very important for us to have players like that. And if you look at Barcelona, for example, when they have the ball, right, when Koundé is running down the right, when Cancelo is running down the left, you guys can see they were flooding in that box, right? But then when you compare it to us last game, we had nothing in the box. We had like literally nothing. We have Arda making runs, Camavinga making runs, but they are not supposed to be in that position. Now, Bernal, for example, he was there, right? And he was supposed to be there because, number one, he's obviously tall, right? And number two, he was not the only one there compared to last game when we had only Camavinga, where we only had Arda in the box. Bernal had Lewandowski, Rafinha, De Jong, right? Where even De Jong got a goal from inside the box where he caught a cross from Cancelo, right? And by the way, my man of the match goes to Cancelo. I just want to really quick check who got man of the match. It was De Jong. All right. In my opinion, it was Cancelo. Cancelo, even though he got 1 assist, he was doing phenomenal with his crossing, his dribbling, his progressing the ball up the pitch. This is probably one of his best games so far since returning back to Barcelona. But nonetheless, right, when you look at Barcelona, right, especially in this game, especially the game where they regained the lead from us, right, where they're now number 1 in La Liga, you guys can see the performance that they displayed. It was not like they were trying to force anything compared to us, where we're trying to force things around where it's not natural for us. It doesn't look natural. Barcelona still sticks with their tactic, their identity, whether it's the high line or whether it's them playing aggressive throughout the entire 90 minutes. I've never seen Barcelona play slow, besides maybe the last game that they lost. But other than that, that's what they've been sticking with playing fast, that high-intensity football. And for us, we don't have a specific identity. And it's been like this since even last season under Carlo Ancelotti. And even under Carlo Ancelotti in the 23-24 season. Now, a lot of us are going to see that as a successful season. And it is a successful season because we won the La Liga, we won Supercopa, I believe, and the Champions League. That is a successful season. But the thing is that when you watch the games, when you watch the way we play, when you watch the amount of times we had to make a comeback, that is not what we're trying to be known for. We're trying to dominate, not even the ball possession, okay? If that's our history where we don't dominate the ball possession, we need to dominate at least the score sheet. Whenever we get the ball, magic has to happen. But so far, we don't have that. We're playing very slow. We're trying to rely on individual brilliance between Vinicius and Mbappe. Compared to when you look at Barcelona today, how they were playing as a great team where nobody really cared about who scored, who got the ball, who got the assist. Nobody was afraid of tracking back, right? Where, like I said, Rafinha tracking back, always putting pressure, always doing his part on and off the ball. Very, very, very good display from Barcelona this game. Levante, they had 5 shots, and I think they had really good chances, but they just couldn't finish it. Obviously, there was a couple of shots where they couldn't get it off, right? But Levante really had a couple of chances that I feel like they could have capitalized on and at least get a goal. But, especially since I knew the fact that Levante never drew or never won against Barcelona. They've always lost to Barcelona. It's kind of written in history, right? So it's written for Barcelona to even dominate in this game. And obviously, before I talk more about this, Fermín López, that final shot with his weak foot was phenomenal. No goalie in the world is saving that. It went all the way to the right. The goalie had no chance of reaching that. The goalie tried his best, and you guys can't even blame the goalie. But that shot was beautiful, and that was honestly the best way to finish the game. The only player that I would say was trying to force things around where he didn't even have a bad game was Lamine Yamal. When I want to go back to the point where I said that Barcelona doesn't force things, and that's true. I'm going to stick by that. But Lamine Yamal was, you guys can see that he was not forcing things. I would say, I don't want to say forcing. He was trying to find ways to get goals, trying to find ways for his team to maybe catch the rebound whenever he misses. There's this one cheeky shot that he tried to take where it was a really good shot, but the goalie did good in terms of like saving that. His reflexes was really good. I'm still going to stick with what I've been saying about Lewandowski. I don't think that he should be Barcelona's main striker anymore. Even though him and Ferran Torres drop stinkers after stinkers, it depends on who does good, right? I'd prefer Ferran Torres. He's more younger. He puts more pressure. He probably could last longer in a match. And I'd say Lewandowski until the end of the season, probably put him on the bench and have Ferran start for majority of the season. But yeah, there's a huge issue in terms of the number 9 for Barcelona. They don't have an experienced number 9. Thierry Henry said this recently, and I've been saying it. I said that they gotta have a proper number 9 striker. Now they have Lewandowski, but like I said, he's 37 now. You guys can see that spark is not in him anymore compared to other strikers, right? Where I don't even want to label Mbappe as a striker because he's not even playing as a striker. But when you look at Harry Kane, when you look at Dembele, when you look at who else plays as a good striker, even Sorloth, for example, right? Even though he's not the top strikers in the world, he knows his positioning. He knows how to, press. Sorloth is a little tall though. Julian Alvarez though, that's somebody I almost forgot. I think there's links with him in Barcelona. So I think Barcelona's going to try to stick this one out, and then they're going to try to sign Julian Alvarez in the next season, which is going to be honestly pretty scary having Julian Alvarez and going up against Julian Alvarez, Rafinha, and Lamine Yamal. I can't even fathom that. But yeah, now that you look at the table, I'm telling you this lead is not really like the scariest lead that Barcelona has. It's only by 1 point. But like I said, once Barcelona has the lead, it's very hard for them to kind of mess up, because when was the last time that they even dropped points, right? If we look at the history for Barcelona, how do I check Barcelona's fixtures? All right. Before this time, right, this was their last La Liga match. I mean, you guys can see, right? They beat Mallorca, Albacete, Elche, Real Oviedo. You see, like, the last time they lost was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in the last 6 games, right? So maybe we are going to have to wait for the next 6 games for them to drop points. Let's say, hypothetically, right? And then we go to Real Madrid, where we look at our fixtures, right? Where next game, Benfica. Now I'm like, my confidence level is like this. We got Getafe, not an easy match. Celta Vigo, where we're expected to win. Elche, Atletico Madrid, right? So within the next, let's see, I'm going to count the La Liga games. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We got a couple of hard games. We got Mallorca. We got Girona. We got Atletico Madrid. We have Getafe. 4 tough matches within the next 6 matches that we have to wait possibly until Barcelona loses. It is going to be scary for us. Like I said, the lead doesn't look that bad, right? The Real Madrid fans are going to come at me if I ever, talk smack about Real Madrid dropping points. The lead is not that bad. It's only 1 point. But like I said, when you look at our history, right? Not history, but, in this season, we have not done good in terms of holding the lead and showing consistency in terms of performance and our identity. Now, congratulations to Barcelona, and also congratulations to Pedri, who made his return. And now their next game, I believe, is going to be against, I want to see, Villarreal, which should be a tough match for them. They're number 3, so they haven't been doing good. Barcelona, in my opinion, they might win, or they are going to win. That's my honest opinion. I don't see Barcelona struggling against Villarreal. But let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you guys were shocked by this performance. I wasn't shocked, like I said. It was against Levante. They never lost against Levante. They never even drew against Levante. So this shouldn't be shocking for anybody. But let me know what you guys think of Real Madrid's next match, Villarreal and Barcelona next weekend. Do you think Barcelona is going to hold on? Do you think Barcelona is going to lose? They're going to drop points? Drop your predictions below. And thank you all for liking, commenting, and for those who are also subscribing. But a lot of you guys are not subscribed, so make sure that you're subscribing because it's for free. It supports. And also it's harmless. Thank you very much. And until then, Assalamu alaikum.